Here we go. Let's see. Well, Jose, we seem to be live on YouTube. We'll let people figure out how to join first, and then we'll start talking about the event we've got going on in good old virtual Puerto Rico on 16 May. So Jose, you want to tell everybody who you are?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Santiago. I'm the founder and president of Warriors4Life, and I live in Commerce City, Colorado.
Excellent, excellent. So this is we got some good stuff going on, Mister. So tell us about the history of what we've got going for Puerto Rico on our Memorial Day ride, which is coming up on 16th of May. Tell us about the history and all those things that you want people to know.
So we started doing a Memorial Day ride in Puerto Rico 5 years ago. We felt like we have a great percentage of veterans in Puerto Rico. A lot of Puerto Ricans have served many wars throughout decades: World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War. So when we first started Memorial Day ride in Puerto Rico 5 years ago, we started, for the fallen, obviously, and we started honoring first the veterans from the 65th Infantry Division out of Puerto Rico. Because they've been key to some of the wars that we've had throughout the decades.
Well, and so this year, because of obviously this COVID craziness, we've gone to a ton of different virtual events. I know Adaptive Adventures, we are hosting this next week, our 100th virtual episode since this whole thing started. So nice. It's been amazing seeing the engagement. And then we did our Cross Florida event, which was, some people did their first century backed up right into a metric century the next day. Some did a couple 100 miles in one day. Some just rode, swam, biked all in one session just for a couple hours. Some did, a total of, I think, 18 combined hours over 2 days. That's hand cyclists. That's, huge breakthroughs. And yes. So tell us, what is that you think made people just find that energy to say, oh, I've never done more than 10 miles on a bike, and now I'm going to do 200 miles on a trainer. What do you think captured that made so many people from around the world, step up next level?
It's the camaraderie, and we projected that energy from the beginning. Doing these, Facebook Lives, doing our little group rides virtually, energy and being positive is everything, to bring people together. So I think that was the most important key element that got everybody together to do this and challenge even more than what we had in mind. That weekend was awesome. It was crazy. We had in mind a goal, and we went with a greater goal. So, and it couldn't been done without the energy of you, me, Adaptive Adventures, Warriors4Life, and everybody in it. It was crazy. We were having fun. So I think that's what got us all together and excited.
Yeah, it's what was amazing is, and what I know Warriors for Life and Adaptive Adventures are all about, is serving those who crave community, that maybe felt they'd lost everything. But then they come into this group of people that just don't care about your story, or why you're missing your limb, or you're in a wheelchair, or your other disabilities or traumas. And we don't care if you're a veteran, a civilian, a youth. We all have roads to our own victories together now. And what I think that's been amazing is, we're collaborative. We'll call it collaborative warriors. We don't care where you come from or what group you're part of. It's getting together for a greater mission of helping each other serve one another. And that warrior or veteran mentality of pushing beyond and helping civilians identify, and then the civilians helping the warriors and veterans kind of reach beyond kind of their trauma. And there's this beautiful camaraderie, and it's been energizing. I never thought in the world I would pedal 200 miles in a day on a darn trainer in my garage. It sucked, it hurts, it's all those things. But at the end of the day, I was so distracted that 12 hours on the trainer was 12 hours with some of my new best friends. And you have hundreds of people sign on, and just all through the things of movement and bikes, and re-identifying what freedom is. So on the 16th of May, it's not as torturous, but with a greater purpose of honoring all those lost to foreign and domestic, to those who chose to serve and put their lives on the line. And it's, we're doing it a week earlier than Memorial Day because we want people to not have conflicts, and some people in theory can start getting outside a little bit more on Memorial Day, we hope. So we have 2 routes that you've done. Tell us about those routes, Jose.
So this year, so normally Memorial Day ride it's a family ride. We designed this ride so everybody could join us. Kids, all levels of riders. It's not like a race. There's nobody finishing first. It's just riding together. So we normally ride about 40 miles. And at the end, we have lunch. That's provided by one of our sponsors out there, which is called La Fondita de Leo in Puerto Rico. And they always donate the food to us at the end of the ride. But this year, we were going to do something a little different. We still were going to do the 40-mile ride, but we were adding another option for those that were craving a little bit more. We were going to do a 100-mile ride. And the way we were going to do it was we were going to start 2 hours before the ride and connect with the other riders, do our ceremony that we do every year, go to the turnaround point where we normally go to, come back to the 40-miler, and then us, we were going to continue. That's what we were going to do this year. But because of the COVID, we still are going to do it, but virtually. So what we're doing this year is that we're going to do the 50-miler virtually. It has about roughly 1,500 feet of climbing virtually. And we still have the route that we are going to start earlier on the 100-mile ride, which has about 3,200 feet, I think it has, on this route. And we're kind of going to do the same thing. We're gonna start earlier for the 100-mile ride. I think we're doing 2 hours early, or we're doing 2 hours earlier, right? That's what we're doing.
So what is it? 6:30 start Mountain Time, which
so
is
around
East Coast and Atlantic, 8:30, and then 2 hours later, 8:30 Mountain Time for the shorter course.
Yes, exactly. And then we're gonna have a ceremony. We're gonna do this like it's the real deal. So we're gonna have a ceremony. We're gonna have the American Legion join us. We will have our prayer that we do every year, and we'll have our minute of silence that we do every year. And we actually do this in Barceloneta, Puerto Rico. So we will have our minute of silence, and then we'll start. Officially, it'll start there, even though the 100-mile ride starts earlier. But the official ride, which is normally the 40-miler, the 50-miler, it starts right there, and then we just go and go do the ride. Again, I want to let people know, you don't if you use a different app, you don't have to use Ruby. You don't If you don't use any other app, you want to just do a regular trainer with a computer with the speed sensor cadence, more than welcome. You don't have to do 100 miles. You don't have to do 50 milers. If you just want to join us only for the ceremony, that'll be awesome. It's because this is not, even though it is a ride, but this is not about the ride. This is about the fallen. So if you just want to join us just for the ceremony and honor the fallen at that time, that'll be awesome. The other reason that we're doing May 16 is because on Memorial Day weekend, that's a very busy weekend for other organizations. They're celebrating this, they're honoring the fallen. So we wanted to do it on a different date. So so everybody, okay, we could do Warriors for Life Adapted Adventures, and then we could still choose on Memorial Day weekend, whatever American Legion's doing, Wounded War Project, Veterans of Foreign War, So.
That's beautiful. And I'm just going to share with the world, because a lot of people just have a hard time understanding, why do I need to sign up for this? And how much is it going to cost me? All it's going to cost is sweat and maybe a little tears, pushing through some discomfort, but yet celebrating. Last night on our ride, we had somebody that's never sweat since their brain injury. And they didn't have a bike. They were part of our Threshold coach program last night. And she was running in place, and we're going through our efforts as we're pushing each other and have music playing and kind of celebrating the discomfort of training and pushing yourself. And for the first time since her injury, she started sweating in her palms and feeling that. So the energy of the group pushes you to the next level. So that's the payment, is celebrating pushing oneself. And so what people need to see is the ability to sign up. It's a pretty easy process. So here you go to adaptiveadventures.org, and up along the top of the screen, you have home, about us, programs, and events. So you'll click on events. Also on the link attached, you have the direct event link to sign up, but there's our event calendar and things you could sign up. But on 16 May, the only thing we got going on is the webcast Cycling Puerto Rico Memorial Day Ride. And so you can go on there and you just click right here, click on to register online, and boom, it's got information as well about the different route options. There's the map of the 54.6 mile route. Then you have below that the route if you are using a Smart Trainer app, or have the ability to put a speed and cadence sensor on your bike, with a standard set of rollers of any kind on your hand cycle, on your trike, on your upright bike. You can then link on that and follow along, and it can track your distance and time. But that's the least important. The least important is that your face and smile is there, and we share. It's the equivalent to breaking bread, sitting around the table together, but we're all being active for 10 minutes or 10 hours, whatever your level of commitment to yourself is. But we want you to go on there and click on the register here online, and boom, it'll give you the link to the Zoom room that keeps it a little safer, and keeps us all together virtually. So that's the easiest way to get in and access the event. there's a lot of energy in that room. And like Jose said, it's, you know, we're honoring the fallen and each other as our commitment to pull each other from kind of our being stuck alone, and utilizing exercise to take everything to the next level, while really honoring all the fallen. So Jose, anything else before we go on to our lunch ride? We have our lunch ride in the next 5 minutes. So I got to jump on my trainer, get my snazzy cycling equipment on. And it's a nice, easy day just to celebrate just a Friday and a start to a great weekend with family and friends. So Jose, anything else?
No, just join us, register. Like I said, if you don't want to do the ride, please join our ceremony, which is at between 8:30 and 9 Mountain Time. And let's honor those that have given it all for this country.
Beautifully said. Well, thank you for all you're doing to your commitment to the Veterans to Warriors for Life. And it's been, as always, a constant road forward, working together and hopefully getting people just better united and creating new friends and family virtually. And one day we shall all ride in person together.
Yes,
so
sir.
Join us 16th of May, 06:30 Mountain Time, and hope to see you there. Thank you, Jose.
All right.